Weeks ago I showed you some old art supplies from the 1970s and the 1990s, and it made me wonder how they would compare to the modern equivalent. So we had the Conte crayon, there's the Supracolor Caran d'Ache, we've got a Caran d'Ache Neo Pastel, a Conte stick, and the Sennelier Oil Pastels. Now if you saw that video, you'll know why I'm not handling these pastels now. The oil has come out, they're extremely sticky and unpleasant to hold, and they're not actually working that well either. So I did manage to get a new equivalent. These colours did surprise me because I thought that was iridescent white, I thought this was green, and that was, I knew was silver because I remember that's aluminium colour. They are all available, but they were all out of stock. So when I tested them, this one that I thought was white is blue, the one that was green is gold, and that silver was barely working at all. So these two are quite patchy, and all of the oil seems to have come out of the silver, so they're really not usable now. But I bought one of the new brand new one to try, and that was the 125, which is the iridescent white. And this just, oh, is so beautiful. It's so soft and buttery and beautiful to use, and it made me remember why I loved using the Sennelier Oil Pastels, especially the iridescent colours. They're just so lovely to use, and they still have a lovely sheen on them today, so they're really worth having, and it's made me want to get more of them and start using them again. Then I moved on to the pastel sticks. Now, I did notice that these two felt quite dry, but when I actually tested them, they actually came out really well. And in fact, compared to the new pastel sticks and the Conte stick, there is absolutely no difference at all in colour or consistency, so they are perfectly usable. I think I would probably use the old ones for experimenting and keep the new ones for finished work, just because they are newer and fresher. And we came to the Supracolor pencil. Now I thought I'd made a mistake here because the old pencil is actually more vibrant and much prettier when activated with water. I don't actually like the new one, it's quite dull. You can see it's a slightly deeper shade here. But I tested it twice and I realised no, I haven't made a mistake. So I'm going to continue using the old pencil, which I think comes out as a really pretty colour. And this I'm just not keen on at all. It's very strange how the colour has changed. Now I don't know if it's just the violet or whether the same has happened with the other shades. Then with the Conte Aquarelle, I don't know if you can see, it's quite patchy, and even when I activated it with water it was quite patchy as well. It's not a pencil that I'm going to use. It was only available, I could find it in sets of 6 or 12, which I didn't want, so I'm not too worried about that one. But it's so lovely to see that the others are all perfectly usable. So I think it's really worth, when you're looking at art supplies, to get the best you can afford, because they will last you a really long time, providing you care for them properly. Your pencils, if they're stored in good conditions, so they're not too hot, they're not damp, and they're not freezing cold and going mouldy or horrible, just look after your pencils and they're just going to last you. Sometimes you might find with your pencils that you get a grey tinge around here. Don't think that's mould, unless it is obviously green mould and blue mould that's growing all around them. If it's just like the grey colour, the cloudy colour, that is just, I believe it's the clay that's inside that comes out. So you can just sharpen the pencil and it will be absolutely fine. So I would say always get the best you can afford. Quality art supplies are not a waste of money. They will last you a really long time, and you know that you can come back to them and they'll still be as good as the day you bought them. So don't rush out and think, I need to get a big set. It's far better to buy a few pencils and just add them gradually, a few at a time, of the colours that you like and the colours that you know you're going to use, because you buy a great big set of pencils, most of them you'll maybe never use or hardly ever use. So just have a little think about what you actually like to use. Get your most useful colours first and then add to them, but always buy the best you can afford.